New England Patriots lose 10-7 to the New York Giants to drop to 2-9 on the season, losing on a last-second field goal by rookie kicker Chad Ryland, and you just kind of felt like he was going to miss that, right? Like, nothing's going right. Slick conditions. I know the Patriots were driving. They had a chance to actually win the game there in the final seconds, but you just kind of knew that field goal was not going through the uprights. And of course it did not. Patriots had the chance to take it to overtime and tie it at 10 apiece, but they fall short in the final seconds. And I just got to say, this game was the most embarrassing of the season. Yes, I know. It wasn't the blowout in Dallas. It wasn't the shutout blowout at home against the New Orleans Saints. But you had a New York Giants team that is not very good. Arguably the worst team in football other than the team they were facing, the New England Patriots. You could say the Carolina Panthers, but at least they're kind of building towards something, whereas the Patriots were just kind of sitting here waiting for the inevitable and hoping that, maybe we can get a nice moral victory out of it. But they just are not a good football team. And yeah, the defense is decent. I mean, I think they've only allowed 40 points total in the last 3 games, but you have to also look at the quarterbacks they were facing. Really, just this offense is a piece of work. Starts obviously with the offensive line protection, which was okay, but not great. Mac Jones getting benched again through 2 interceptions, 2 terrible interceptions. The first kind of fading away, really threw it confidently into triple coverage, and then the second one coming on it might have been a check down or something like that, but similar to what Mac Jones threw against Indianapolis a couple of weeks ago, kind of with the yips, throwing it to the other team, just wondering who the hell were you throwing the ball to. And then Bailey Zappi coming in the second half throws basically the same interception that Mac Jones threw early in the game, similar concept, into triple coverage. And it just shows how far this team has fallen with the way they've dealt with the quarterback position. Going into this week, literally this time yesterday, we were all going, is Will Grier going to be the starter? Because he's just a big unknown. We know Mac Jones doesn't have it. He has the yips. We know Bailey Zappi is not the guy. So, hey, Will Grier, know nothing about him, but Patriots Nation is ready for him. He gets cut. So we're stuck between Mac Jones and Zappi, and when you have that, of course Mac Jones is going to win the job. He's a great practice athlete. He just absolutely blew out Cam Newton in training camp a few years ago to win the starting job, and he was once a confident, poised, good decision-making quarterback, but he's clearly been broken behind this poor offensive line, behind having no receivers that can get separation, except for maybe Demario Douglas, who the Patriots lost today to a head injury. So just really an embarrassing game for the Patriots, just kind of a microcosm of how the entire season has gone. But, anytime you're facing the New York Giants, 2 historic franchises, I know the Giants are not a good team, but you got to go in there and you got to win that game. And they had plenty of chances. Red zone interceptions, all sorts of mistakes. Patriots could have had 25 points in this game, no problem, but they just gave the ball to the other team, as they often do. And embarrassingly, Bill Belichick didn't even try to win the game. He just let the clock tick off there in the final seconds. And, the Patriots were running the football pretty well. I mean, 147 yards rushing on the ground. I mean, I think that's their best game all season. Ramondre Stevenson is back to form. Ezekiel Elliott, more than competent there at running back. And, they were mixing Tyquan Thornton in there. A lot of that had to do with injuries. Kayshon Boutte got some snaps. They were able to kind of run the ball and get some decent yardage, but just was not enough for them to mitigate those mistakes that they've been making all season. And, if you're Robert Kraft going into New Jersey, against an ownership group that you know very well, a relationship that Bill Belichick has with that organization over the years, won 2 Super Bowls with them as a defensive coordinator, going up against Tommy DeVito, who lives with his parents and likes chicken cutlets. Not a good quarterback, that Tommy DeVito. I mean, he makes Mac Jones and Bailey Zappi look mobile in the pocket. They had no trouble getting to him, but it didn't really matter. The Patriots were so incompetent on offense. And everything that we've seen all season with the turnovers, with the unimaginative play calling, with the defense doing its job, but occasionally giving up third and long plays, and the offense really just having to, get a little on first down, get a little on second down, and then hopefully you can convert on third down. I think there were, 9 punts in the first half. Just really an embarrassing game for the NFL altogether and for the Patriots. We're all excited about this season coming to an end, and at the end of the day, they're one step closer to getting a top 3 NFL draft pick and getting one of those top 2 quarterbacks in Drake May or Caleb Williams or maybe Marvin Harrison Jr., or a weapon at wide receiver that they have not had for quite some time, if ever. So not great being a Patriots fan going into that game. These were the kind of games you laughed at as a Patriots fan for 20 years when you watch teams that are just struggling to piece together a drive, that are making constant mistakes, turning the ball over. Really just a horrible product on the field in New Jersey this afternoon. But let's get to the big topic at hand. So speaking of embarrassment, Mac Jones got benched at the end of the first half. There were rumors that he was going to split reps with Bailey Zappi. Maybe that was the plan all along, is to have Mac Jones out there in the first half, Zappi in the second, see what you got on both ends. But Mac threw 2 really dumb interceptions. The first was forced into triple coverage, and the second came on a very similar panicky play when he was sensing pressure that wasn't really there and just kind of throwing it to the other team. Mac Jones made a great tackle, probably his best play of the season on that play, but he's clearly broken, and you can see it in his face, you can see it in his eyes, you can see he just lacks confidence out there. Very different looking quarterback in terms of body language than the guy we saw even in week 1 against the Eagles, and certainly in his rookie year when he went out there and you said, hey, this is the most confident rookie quarterback I've ever seen. He's the perfect replacement for Tom Brady in the long term. Nope, not anymore. And, we say this every week, is that the last snap Mac Jones is going to take in a Patriots uniform? Maybe, but, it's not like Bailey Zappi played great. You saw that interception, a very Mac Jones style interception, and I don't know, he may be back out there next week. And even if the Patriots draft a quarterback in April that's, not one of the obvious top tier Caleb Williams, Drake May, let's say they get a quarterback in the second or third round, you're going to keep Mac Jones on that roster, and Mac Jones is going to compete for that job. And in training camp, when he's not dealing with pressure, when he's going over the offense, memorizing plays, he could win that quarterback competition. And that's what you got to deal with every week, is you go into next week and you say, hey, we're going to have a quarterback competition. Well, Mac Jones is going to win it because he's a good practice quarterback. He's good when there's no pressure. He's good when he's not facing difficult situations. But the adversity has been too much for him, and obviously the Patriots are going to have to do something different at quarterback, whether it's the rest of this year, maybe you give Malik Cunningham a shot like most of us want to see, or you just ride it out with Mac or Zappi the rest of the way and continue to turn the ball over 2 to 3 times each game. I don't know what you do, but, you saw Matt Corral. He got picked up and released. You saw Will Grier, who we were all excited about just because he was something new. He gets released the day before the game when the Boston sports media can't really report on it, and talk just about how embarrassing the depth has been at the quarterback position. There was no backup plan for Mac Jones. You could say Bailey Zappi was the backup, but he wasn't really, because you cut him and hoped that no other team would pick him up, which they didn't, because he's not a very good quarterback. So, yeah, he's your backup, but, you could have gone after a Case Keenum. There's a lot of guys you could have gone after that would have been more than competent whenever Mac Jones, puts your team in these situations. And if they did have a decent backup, Mac Jones probably wouldn't have even played the last 2 games. So, really just a poor job by Bill Belichick and Patriots personnel management to just not have any other options at the quarterback position. Like I said, I hope you give Malik Cunningham a shot, see what you can do with a mobile QB, give him a simplified game plan, and give the players on the team some energy, because at 2-9, people are obviously going to check out. Give them something new, something to look forward to. You could do that with Malik Cunningham, but right now, this just shows how poorly Belichick has handled the QB room, and it's really tough to see. But there are some silver linings coming out of this game. 10-7 against the Giants. Patriots defense holding New York to just 10 points. And yes, I know Tommy DeVito lives with his parents, enjoys chicken cutlets. If nobody mentioned that. Not a good quarterback, but the Patriots were able to get pressure to him. He really had trouble escaping the pocket. Not that he's an escape artist, but they did a decent job at holding the Giants to just 10 points, and they've held the last 3 opponents to 40 points total. Does this defense have some work that needs to be done? Obviously. You're missing Judon still. You're missing Christian Gonzalez. J.C. Jackson gave up a couple boneheaded plays, but for the most part, this is a group. You bring back who you can, maybe not Josh Uche, but maybe you sign Kyle Duggar in the offseason, and you try to bring back this core group healthy, and then really work on rebuilding that offense. But this defense is definitely something that you can work with going forward, and they're going to continue to be one of the better, top 10, top 15 NFL defenses. Not a lot of good to say about the offense. We saw Demario Douglas get hurt on what should have been illegal contact or unnecessary roughness. But we did see Tyquan Thornton get some snaps and some end arounds and a few nifty plays. And, nothing to be excited about, but at least you're seeing him out there. You're seeing Kayshon Boutte. Give these young guys another chance. And it's not like it really matters at this point anyway. So I love to see more of Boutte, and I love to see more of Tyquan, just so we can get an answer on whether he should even be back next year. Still in a rookie contract. Maybe you can get something out of him, and hopefully he can hit the weight room and gain a few pounds in the offseason. But most importantly, the biggest silver lining is Patriots are 2-9, and now they are in good shape to get a top 3 draft pick. And really, there's 3 big picks. There's Caleb Williams. A lot of red flags. I'm not as big in Caleb Williams as a lot of people is, but you can't pass him up if he's there. But the guy I really like is Drake May, just because he's dealt with some challenging situations. Apologies for my dogs. He's dealt with some challenging situations. Not that Caleb Williams hasn't, but you have Drake May. You take him at number 1 overall if you're there, or if he's available at number 2 or number 3. And then there's Marvin Harrison Jr., who may be the best receiver we've seen come out of the draft in quite some time. He's instantly going to be a top 10 NFL wide receiver right away. So it stinks to be 2-9, but now you realize you can get a really good draft pick and start this rebuild a lot quicker. Maybe you trade into the first round. You don't get one of those top quarterbacks. You get Harrison Jr. or you get a tackle, and then you trade in and you pick up a Michael Penix or a Bo Nix or Jaden Daniels, some of these other quarterbacks. I really like all the quarterbacks, honestly. So Patriots are going to be at a good spot. Maybe you get the 3rd or 4th overall pick and you trade back, get a couple first rounders, and then you bring in a tackle and then one of those other quarterbacks. Who knows? There's a lot you could do there. But the better draft pick they have, the more flexibility, the more options they're going to have going into the draft. We just don't know who the head coach is going to be. We don't know who the general manager is going to be. A lot of questions there. But really, an embarrassing day for the Patriots organization, but there are some silver linings there. They do have some players, a real foundation to build around. Other than the Saints and Cowboys games, which were big losses, they've been in every game they've competed in this season. It's the margin between being a bad team and a good team in the NFL is less than the other leagues. So you get healthy, you bring in a new quarterback, you reinforce the offensive line, get some weapons at receiver, march forward with this defense. Suddenly you're back to being, at the very least, a middle-of-the-road NFL team. So that's it. More analysis coming later this week, but the Patriots lose 10-7 to drop to 2-9 and continue to have one of the top picks as of right now in the 2024 NFL Draft.